Happy GA Flashback Friday. I hope you guys are having a fantastic start to your weekend. I know I am, aside from the nightmare that was my life this afternoon. So I decided to go and mom clean my kids' rooms, which basically means that you go in and actually clean them to where they are fit for society when they're not home. So I decided to do that today. I got all motivated and decided to do it. Oh my holy kitty freaking flippin' cow. What I cleaned out of their rooms. I'm pretty sure that there were things in there that could have cured cancer. Or Ebola. And they cleaned their rooms, or so I thought. I was sorely mistaken, and I have learned a great lesson today in parenthood that I need to crack down a little bit harder on these two precious princesses of mine, because I'm scarred for life. I felt like I was on an episode of Hoarding, Buried Alive. I was terrified. This is not how I raise my children, and they know that. So I think they were literally trying to kill their mother today, because I took garbage bags of stuff. I got so mad, I was just throwing toys away, throwing books, just chucking it all. I was like, you know what? You can't take care of it. It's gone. I don't even know how many bags of trash I pulled out of their rooms, or toys, or things that they're probably going to gripe and miss, but I don't care. It was vilely disgusting. I was embarrassed beyond anything. I literally shivered and said WTF, and not the abbreviation, more than once. I can't deal. So I am, like I said, scarred for life, and I'm using my video to recover. But anyway, we are not here to talk about that. We are here for GA Flashback Friday, and today happens to be one of my favorite all-time episodes of Ghost Adventures, Preston Castle, for a variety of reasons, which we will get to in a moment. Center and let's go. So, as always, I like to give you a little bit of backstory before I go into Lockdown Breakdown. And go. Preston Castle was built in the late 1800s in Ione, California for troubled boys. It was called the Preston School of Industry, and basically what it was like juvie, with a twist. So these boys would go in there in one of two ways. They would either break the law, we're talking like burglary, murder, being a brat, or they would be there because their parents abandoned them and they became orphans and they were just all wards of the state. But they went in there and they went to school in the mornings, and then in the afternoons they had to learn a trade. They learned everything from slaughtering pigs, that's hot, to making shoes, and they grew their own food. It was like a city of its own. And they lived there either through their sentence, if they were there for trouble, or until they were 24 or 25 years old, until they became an adult and they were go, just out, get out. But it was not a good place. It was full of just dark and negative energy, because some of these boys were just awful, awful, awful people. There is one unsolved murder, and that is the probably saddest murder of the entire place, which was the death of the head housekeeper, Anna Corbin, and she died on February 23rd, 1950, when she was beat to death in the basement of this castle. There's also an agricultural teacher that was murdered by two boys, and there's 26 other deaths that happened under suspicious circumstances. They were just weird. One of the deaths that also occurred was that of Samuel Goins, and he was shot to death trying to escape Preston Castle with another boy, and the other boy actually died suspiciously 8 months later. And they believe that Samuel is the malevolent spirit of Preston Castle that kind of likes to scratch people and make them feel uncomfortable and wig them out. So he's just a bucket of freaking fun. He's more fun than a barrel of monkeys. And this is also like a EVP hotspot. Like it is like the home of disembodied voices. And it is just one of those places that makes you go, oh my God. Like you can just look at the outside of it and go, that's haunted. You don't have to know anything about it. You don't have to know one lick of history, and you can just look at the building. It's this big red building that takes up like half the mountain that it's on. It's creepy, creepy, creepy. So that's all of like the history that they have. Now, my lockdown breakdown is going to be a little different this time because we have a lot to talk about. And we have a lot to talk about because this kind of took a weird turn. This episode was just off the wall weird. So, as always, I'm going to kind of go through some of the evidence they collected, which they started collecting evidence during the freaking walkthrough. Okay? Like, they're going through Preston Castle with a girl named Gloria, who is the founder of Ghost Trackers, a paranormal team in the area. And they are in the room, like, where Anna Corbin's body was found. And Erin's sitting there holding the camera, and like you hear this doop, like something hit the audio, like hit the camera, and then his audio goes out. And then her battery drains, like on her mic, and it's craziness. They're not even on freaking lockdown yet. And I'm thinking, oh hell. Here we go. Not even on lockdown yet, and it's already going crazy. So then they get to lockdown, and they are in there like 5 minutes. Not even. And they hear the very first like disembodied voice of like many. And they hear like some weird knocking. It's just crazy. Like it was a disembodied like battlefield. Like all around you, you heard voices and weird feelings, and it was just emotionally a mess. And some of the best EVPs they got was, I don't know, talk, come on, you can do it. And they are clear, like class A, creepy ass EVPs. Including one of the creepiest ones, which kind of coincided with like a series of events. So they're in the infirmary, and they hear this girl scream. Now this is not like me when I scream, which is ear-piercing, blood-curdling, unhealthy volumes of octave scream when I'm truly scared. This scream was almost like non-human. It was a girly scream, like it was high-pitched, but it was weird. And it was just creepy. Like it was not even like a normal person's scream. It was just creepy. Well, they heard the creepy laugh. They had a static night vision camera at the end of a hallway where they had heard the first disembodied voice, where they had captured a shadow, like almost walking away from the camera. And it was really clear. So they capture this shadow, they hear this scream, and then they have an EMF pump in the middle of the floor that can make has a sensor on it that goes off when electromagnetic energy is detected. And now the EMF pump is going off. So you have this series of events that all happen at once that just put the big stamp of paranormal approval on it, because it was not it was just crazy. Like, did I mention crazy? Now, we're going to get into the longest part of my lockdown breakdown, which is actually the scariest moments of the episode and some of the best evidence. So they are in another part of the castle, and Erin's like, dude, I'm burning really bad. You know, totally Erin. Well, and this was when Erin was scared of everything. This was before, like, Erin, I don't know, became Dark Erin, I guess. Or Ballsy Erin, one of the two. And he is saying, like, I'm burning. Now, Preston Castle has a series of history of scratching people, or something at Preston Castle has a history of scratching people, because Gloria was scratched, the girl who was walking through with them, was scratched after she left the walkthrough. A guy that they interviewed was scratched, or noticed scratches when he got home, and Erin felt like the back of his calf burning, and so they lifted up his pant leg, and sure as there is 3 scratch marks up his leg. Now, as as most of you know, 3 is the mocking of the Trinity and is usually associated with a demonic-like entity, which is scary because the guys had no clue. Like, everybody else had 2 scratches, and yet Aaron had 3. Now, this is following Bobby Mackey's. This is, it makes you wonder. Like, you think about this stuff. It's like, everybody else had 2. Everybody else had 2 scratches. Aaron, of all people, gets 3. Your thoughts, you can let me know in the comments below, but I think something was a little off. And so that moment in and of itself was really scary because it's 3. It's what you fear. It's the 3. The 3 claw marks, the 3 scratches. And when, you know the paranormal world or you're into it, you know that that's not good and that's not okay. So he was wigging out, to say the least, like on the typical Aaron level. Now, the next part, which is also this moment, it's not so much scary, I shouldn't say, as it is just odd. And I'm going to end my GA Recap Friday with it because it makes me just go. Toward the end of the episode, Zach starts feeling this energy. And you can see him visibly, physically, change. They hear this noise and then Zach gets really cold and you see on the episode him kind of do one of these, just kind of sink into himself. And the next thing you know, he's crying. And I'm going, and when I first watched the episode, I was like, oh, he's crying. Because, okay, I have a confession. I am a sucker and a sap for any grown man that cries. I cannot deal. I don't care how stark raving mad I am at you. You start crying, stick a fork in me, I'm done. I will melt, forget it, I don't care. I could want to murder you. Put a pillow over your head until you stop kicking, murder you. And you cry, I'm done. My heart bursts and I'm done. I can't stand it because I am such, in the core of my body, I'm a lover. I am a sap. I am a lover. I am a hopeless romantic. And I cannot stand when a man cries. Even if it's just, it doesn't have to be an ugly cry. It doesn't have to be it can just be his heart is hurt or his heart, I'm done. One and done. I hear someone cry and I can't do anything about it. Oh, hell. Even if it's happy tears. I don't care. I want to hold you. I just want to come here. Just let me. I can't deal. So when Zach did that, I was like, oh, crap. I had to quit watching it because I was like, oh my God. And I'm an empath anyway, and so I feel all of that emotion, and I'm just like, oh my God. It was an ugly cry. It was awful. And it kind of spiraled out of control from there. Zach went cray-cray in a hurry. And Gloria had said earlier in the day that in Anna Corbin's room, people had been known to be channeled kind of by Anna to almost, use them as a voice for her spirit. And what was weird, though, is they were not in Anna Corbin's room. They were, in the same area, but they were not in her room. And so Zach is acting all wonky and weird. Aaron and Nick are like, dude, what's wrong with him? What's he doing? Because they never seen him do that before. I mean, you have to remember, this is before Poveglia. This is before any type of possession things have happened. It was weird. And it was just odd. And I think for us as Ghost Adventures fans, the first time we seen that episode, we have to go, oh my God. Because we've never seen anything like that either. This is before all of these other episodes that we now know happened. So, I don't know. Maybe she fell in love with him because he looked like a 12-year-old boy. I mean, his hair, though. If you remember his hair in that episode, I know this is completely off subject, but maybe this is why. His hair was, stupid long, and it was, down, and I don't know what he did. This was before he did the faux hawk. This was before anything. I don't know. I think he literally got out of bed and went and did this show because his hair was, still cute, still adorable, but, dude, get a haircut. Or fix it. I know. Never mind. Off subject. ADD. Woo! I don't know why he had also left her flowers you know, they had left her flowers down in the basement where she passed away. And so that could have been it. But he was straight up acting weird. So he, like, wanders off and gets in to Anna Corbin's bedroom, like the room she lived in. And he's sitting in a chair. And, like, Nick rounds the corner and is like, whoa, dude, you're right there. He's like, what are you doing? He's like, come into my room, guys. And he doesn't even sound like Zach. Like, it's weird. He's like, come into my room. And we're like, he's almost like sounds drunk. Like, he talks like, I knew when I'm drunk. I'm like, come here. Come in here. Come here. Sit. No. Not cute. But you could tell that he was off. And so they were like, Anna, is that you? And he gets like this shit-eating grin on his face. He's like, no. So then Zach asked Nick to go into the basement to get the flowers to bring them to Anna Corbin's room. She wants them in her room. So he goes down there and he like gets pinched on the leg by whatever's in the basement. Whatever's in that basement is nasty and mean and evil and ooh. And then he's like, okay, Anna, here you go, sweetie. Here's your flowers. And then he walks up out of the room and is singing down the hallway. And I'm like, oh, hell. This boy has done lost his ever-living mind. I was just shaking my damn head. It was just so off the wall. I remember watching that for the first time going, oh, pull the plug, he is done. He has lost his mind. It was just, but it was one of the reasons that I loved that episode so much because it shows you just how intense it can get. Like, you don't know what's going to use your body as an outlet for their voice because they don't have one anymore. And it was just proof that strange things do happen. And one of my favorite parts was at the very end. Aaron comes out. They had the static night vision camera that's like filming the outside of the building. And Aaron walks up to it and is like looks into the camera and he's like, ugh. You could just tell that it had taken so much out of them that they were just ready to be done. They're like, can we just go home? Please, can we just go home? And it's all of that that makes this one of my favorite episodes because it had such great evidence, both visual, you know, you heard things. Zach got like possessed or partially possessed or channeled or something and he was not himself. It was just, it was like that prime episode for me. And it's still one of my favorites. I've seen it 1,000 times. I didn't even have to really watch it again because I've seen it so many times that I knew everything about this place. I just, bucket list. Just to stand and just like take pictures. I don't know. I love it. I think it's just so creepy and so amazing. It has such great history. Bravo, Preston Castle. Bravo for being one of my favorite episodes of Ghost Adventures ever. So that's all I have for GA Flashback Friday. I will be back on Monday for GA Recap Monday, where I will be recapping another episode of Ghost Adventures Aftershocks. Until then, stay happy, stay healthy, enjoy the springtime weather that has finally seemed to be here, although Mother Nature can quit dropping tornadoes everywhere because that is just getting old. And I will see you guys on Monday. Much love and happiness.